if you don't mind, we're going to start our first question for all of our panelists with you. As mayor of one of the finest cities in America, why are you supporting comprehensive immigration reform with all the other day-to-day work you have to do running the city and county of San Francisco?
Thank you, Carl, and let me repeat my thanks to Julia and Kevin for hosting this again. This is the first technology company I visited when I made a commitment to visit every Tuesday a different technology company, and every time I come back I get inspired by what people are doing. Carl, thank you. Silicon Valley Leadership Group is incredibly important. Working with our Chamber of Commerce and also with our SF City and all the other nonprofits. The simple answer, Carl, to that question is jobs. The reason I'm working on immigration reform, I have a little bit of background. I used to be a civil rights attorney, and I did my share of helping family reunite with their kindred from China and Japan and Korea and all the others, and I did that for many years. What I didn't realize at the time when I was a civil rights attorney is a direct connect to the history of the city being a city of immigrants. 35% of all the small businesses in San Francisco was owned by an immigrant. Our whole history, which I've appreciated for so long, this city's been built on good immigrants who found ideas, create their businesses, and employ others. And today, that story has not changed. I think that the businesses in San Francisco can only succeed if we have good, sound business policies, but also if we make sure that there's comprehensive immigration reform. Because what we've learned over the years is that there are millions of people in the state of California, and no different, 30 to 50,000 undocumented immigrants in San Francisco who are not part of our official economy, that are probably struggling in the underground economy, that are hiding because of fear, that will not participate in health prevention because of fear. And because of that, we think we have to have an immigration policy that is forward-looking, that makes sure there's a path to citizenship for them. But businesses also need talent. And as Julia said earlier, we're in a worldwide talent war. Are we going to lose to other great cities that are recruiting that talent? Or are we going to make sure that San Francisco and the Bay Area gets the same talent for the companies that we have? Now that doesn't mean, and I know the conversations are a bit sensitive around the country, it doesn't mean we take anything away from American workers. In fact, I've got serious money invested in Tech SF with the nonprofits like Geetha and others who are helping us train our residents to be part of this fantastic technology world that we have. But at the same time, certain areas that we're lacking in need that worldwide talent. We're creating worldwide markets. Eventbrite is not here just for San Francisco customers. They're here for a worldwide market if they can be of help. Events around the world if they can be of help. That's true for literally every successful technology company. Every company in the Chamber of Commerce wants worldwide. And so immigration is part of their DNA of recruiting talent so that we can get products and services, designs and ideas that are worldwide, that are culturally competent for the rest of the countries. I want to break in not just to China, I want to break into Latin America. I want to break into Africa. I want our businesses to be represented all over the world because our DNA has always been about being an international city. So that's why I'm engaged in this. It is really because San Francisco has always been a part of the conversation about immigration. And this is a time, a very unique opportunity time, where Congress has this once-in-a-lifetime ability to make some updated changes. And we need those changes to be comprehensive. We need to reflect what our business demands are going forward, to hopefully reflect the need to bring people out of the dark area of undocumentation and into the limelight and have them fully participate, because that has so many other impacts that has on it. And as mayors of major cities across the country, we registered this very strongly at our U.S. Council of Mayors. We need that comprehensive immigration reform. Now, we have other things that we want to talk about on the aspects of it, and we'll get into it in a second. But I am very willing to join our Homeland Security as well as these great innovative companies that we have in the city to make sure that we are talking about this and sending a message to Congress and all the representatives. Our country's ability to be more successful and to fully recover really has a lot to do with whether or not we pass good comprehensive immigration reform.
Mayor Lee, well said. Maria Odom, you were appointed just last September by Secretary Janet Napolitano to serve as the Citizenship and Immigration Services Ombudsman for the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. But your background is an immigration lawyer, where you led the Catholic Legal Immigration Network, the largest network of charitable legal immigration programs in the country. Why is this important to you? And then we're going to go to our three entrepreneurs.
It is. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a great week to be here in San Francisco. I feel very fortunate to be here. And also, before I answer your question, I have to comment. Just moments ago, we were gathered in a small conference room, and on my mind was, I listened to the president reiterate that we need a 21st century immigration system, that our system is broken, but we need a modern immigration system. And as I listened to many of you, innovators and the creative talent that you bring to the table, I realized that your voice will carry and will help us create that immigration system that is modern and that really meets the needs of entrepreneurs like you and serve the needs of our country, and also will really drive home the point that immigration is about keeping families together, but it is also a driving force for our economy. And your voice is unique, your voice is very special, and I wish we could bottle it up. I could bottle it up today and take it with me to Washington, D.C. And my plea to you is to think collectively in the same way that you seem to carry your business in this very unique business culture, and think creatively on how you're going to take that voice and that message in a clear and concise, informative manner, as you did with me just a few moments ago to the House, because we're very confident and positive that this will roll over to the House very soon, and we need you. Why do I support immigration reform? Absolutely. This is my life's work. I started my career with the Department of Justice as an immigration and naturalization trial attorney representing the government in removal proceedings, and then I went into the private sector. So I have been a business owner. I have had a private practice representing clients who were in removal proceedings, but also representing businesses and representing individuals and also very vulnerable populations. So I'm probably one of those unique attorneys who've done the range of immigration work, and because I am passionate and I recognize that family unity is a cornerstone of our immigration system, but I also have seen the business side and what it does to our economy, what it does to families, what it does to our communities, and I think the incredible force that immigrant entrepreneurs bring to really revitalize our communities, to hire good talent both from within and from abroad. I come from the Southeast, so I have seen great entrepreneurship and incredible transformation of communities by welcoming talented folks from abroad. So reforming the immigration system is something that I hope I get to be a part of over the next few months, and at the Department of Homeland Security, we're truly looking forward to putting together an implementation team and rolling out this historic reform of our system.
Maria Odom, thank you, and thank you for coming to San Francisco today for this conversation. We do want to thank our partners again, the San Francisco Chamber of Commerce, Indian Advocacy, Business Forward, and SF City for co-hosting today's live town hall. I've been eager, though, to hear from our three CEOs, young founders of companies, all with their own stories about immigration. So why don't we hear those first? Tell us your own stories. Geetha, we're going to start with you, CEO of Luminix.
Sure. So my story is not any more special than all of the stories that you guys have heard, right? So I grew up in India, and my father is a farmer, so my generation is the first one to go to school. And at the last panel discussion, I gave a shout out to all feminist fathers. I think that really deserves another shout out. So my family really believed in education and empowering through education. And after graduation, and I think all immigrants will relate to this, there is a certain restlessness and you want to get out of your comfort zone and really explore new cultures and education and intellectual opinions. So that's how I got here. But the path is not easy. It has taken 12 years to get a green card. And really, it limits an individual's capability on what they can do while you're on the H-1B visa. First, it was the student visa, and then it'll take a long time before the H-1 process gives you flexibility, even to move between jobs, and then you wait forever to get a green card, and you can't start a business. Like Carl said, it took me 9 months to start a business after I got my green card, right? So I was, by then, so restless to start something. So you take individual, capable individuals who are really smart and driven, and you can't limit them like that. So that's the story. But you know, I also want to say the comprehensive immigration reform. Everybody in this room relates to and agree that we have to pass high-skilled immigration. But having been on the legal spotlight, still struggling, it felt like we were in a legal limbo. You can't really travel. You can't switch between companies. And now imagine the population, the segment that's under in the shadows and without rights. And I think that's morally not acceptable. And then the children, right, there's a whole generation that they thought they had a country, but apparently the country doesn't want them. So that comprehensive immigration reform certainly needs to fix those broken issues.
Alexander Torrenegra is the founder and CEO of VoiceBunny. Alexander, your story?
Hello everybody. I'm originally from Colombia, and I started as an entrepreneur back in Colombia when I was 14. I come from a modest family. I was in love with computers, but we didn't have enough money to buy a computer, so I had to start my own data entry business in order to be able to afford it. Eventually, this is 1994, eventually I got access to the internet around 1997, 1998, and I realized that everything was happening here in the US. So my life as an immigrant and doing things related to immigration started. I bought a one-way ticket to the US. I got here, I realized that my English was really bad. So initially I had to work at McDonald's and Starbucks, great coffee, really bad hamburgers. And the only way I realized that also there wasn't a way for me to stay here in the US if I wanted to be an entrepreneur, or if I wanted to continue being an entrepreneur. So I decided to go back to college. I had dropped college in Colombia already in order to pursue my entrepreneurial career. And I co-founded my first internet startup, and it was bootstrap, it wasn't a big thing, but within a year we had 6 employees already. And I was being told that I had to leave the country if I wanted to drop college. I mean, I'm an entrepreneur by nature. I want to drop college, right? So, and definitely going to college was slowing me down in terms of my entrepreneurial dreams. And September 11 happened, and I was being told to some extent, you have to go back to Colombia. And as a Colombian, going back, once you go back to Colombia, coming back to the US, you had back in 1999, 2000, a 10% chance of actually being able to come back. So I was a successful entrepreneur, not being able to stay here, but fortunately for me, I had fallen in love with the love of my life and the mother of my daughter that we had a week ago. And we accelerated our marriage. We got married, and that's how I was able to stay. It's been 12 years. She ended up becoming the co-founder of my business as well, so which is VoiceBunny, and also this business to some extent has to do with globalization and with immigration. VoiceBunny today is the largest bank of professional voices. We market it as professional voices on demand, and what we do is we tap a crowd of thousands of people working from home. And one of the things that we are very proud of is that we are actually enabling thousands, dozens of thousands of Americans to get hired by companies all over the globe. We call that reverse outsourcing. So if you're a software developer, an app developer in India, or you're creating animations in China, or you are creating video games in Russia, chances are you want nice voices for your video games. And by developing VoiceBunny in the US, we have been able to push the American accent, the English American accent, as the de facto accent that people want for applications. And that's enabling thousands of people to actually work for companies all over the planet. And, but again, since my life is attached to immigration somehow, my software development team is in Colombia, and we are constantly struggling, moving or allowing the team to visit each other. We cannot bring people to the US easily. Getting visas is very hard. Getting H-1B visas is impossible. We were not lucky to get we applied for 3 visas recently, and 2 of them, H-1B visas, 2 of them were not selected in the lottery. So their petition of these amazing people were not even looked at because of the laws that we currently have. So I'm a big advocate for immigration reform for many reasons. Oh, by the way, also the husband of my mother-in-law was deported because he was an illegal alien here in the US as well. So I'm very close to all this, and I feel the pain both from a personal perspective and on a business perspective. And the reason I came to the US is because it was very attractive from every single perspective in order to start a business. Innovation is happening here, starting a business is easy, getting access to capital is very easy. The only area that it looks really bad from anybody's perspective is the immigration laws that we have. That's the only thing that we need to tweak in order to become really the ultimate place to start and innovate tech company.
Alexander, thank you. We're going to move to Rutul Dave, who's the co-founder of Bright Funds. Rutul?
Yeah, good afternoon.